This is the 2026 GMC Terrain AT4, a little bit of extra off-road capability, and it runs in a very competitive segment. I'm here to tell you whether or not it's worth test driving. And remember, subscribe to the channel. The latest U.S. Census says 80% of Americans live in cities. Check out streets and driveways there, and it sure seems everyone wants to live in the wilderness. SUVs and crossovers dominate sales, and many of them are getting more rugged trims, like the 2026 GMC Terrain AT4. It's not just cosmetics. Useful gear will help get you out of Metropolis and deeper into the woods. Maybe do some trendy forest bathing. CR-V Trail Sport, RAV4 Woodland Edition, Rogue Rock Creek, Outback Wilderness, and Sister Equinox Active take the same trail. Terrain's pricing, including destination, starts at about $32,000 for a base elevation trim, front-wheel drive in Summit White paint. Specifically, all the other colors cost extra. AT4 with standard all-wheel drive begins at $40,000. This one, as tested with optional Riverstone paint and technology package, MSRPs for $43,600. And remember, that's manufacturer's suggested retail price. Brush off your negotiation skills. Get out there and haggle. Also, the Chevy version, Equinox Active, is a couple grand less than AT4. Built on the same platform, the Bowtie brand leans towards the fashion side of rugged. Both get 17-inch wheels with general grabber all-terrain tires, but GMC takes its professional grade more seriously with a retuned off-road suspension and protection for the expensive stuff, plus red recovery points always work better, right? AT4's approach and departure angles are improved. Ground clearance is bumped a smidge to 7.9 inches. Also familiar from Equinox, the 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder. It's moving 3,700 pounds of machine with 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. Check out the welcome graphics on the 15-inch display, which looks great. There is no hybrid powertrain or EV equivalent like Equinox EV. Again, AT4 comes standard with all-wheel drive, meaning there's an 8-speed gearbox and paddles to swap those cogs manually. GMC's all-wheel drive system is switchable to front-wheel drive. While not automatic, it's smart enough to engage all the tires when the right drive mode is dialed in. Terrain mode is an AT4 exclusive, by the way. I'll explain that later. This is tow rated for 1,500 pounds. The trailering package is standard. Since this has the same powertrain as Chevy Equinox, do not expect a fast SUV. The benchmark 0 to 60 comes up in just under 9 seconds. The four-cylinder is smooth, and in everyday city driving, this is actually okay. But if you pass on two-lane roads a lot, it does require a little extra planning. This should have a dollop of extra grunt over the Chevy, considering GMC is professional grade, you know? I hold it to a higher standard. Since most miles will be done on-road, I'm focusing first on pavement dynamics. AT4's ride quality is very comfortable. The off-road suspension soaks up bumps nicely, and the taller sidewalls of the all-terrain tires insulates your backside from sharp impacts. Now, unlike a regular CR-V or RAV4 that feel very car-like going down the road, AT4 has what I would describe as kind of a trucky feeling to it, just a little bit. I'm not sure if Denali or Elevation have that dynamic, since I haven't driven those. I have to believe the hint of body-on-frame dynamic is intentional to give AT4 a tougher vibe. People like that feeling. Terrain has excellent visibility. For starters, the seating position is raised. It's what everybody wants these days. Windows are large, no real blind spots. Plus, there's blind spot warning and blind spot warning assist, which means if you try to change lanes and there's another vehicle there, it gives you a little bit of a warning, plus kind of nudges you back into your lane. Adaptive Cruise works well. Lane Keep Assist allows drift before pulling Terrain back to center. There are two ways to look at that. One, it isn't very effective. Or two, it's preferable because it's not constantly nagging and tugging on the steering wheel. Personally, I lean towards two, or just turning lane keeping off. The 8-speed transmission is generally smooth. The other day, I was stuck in very bad stop-and-go traffic for almost an hour, and I did find that in front-wheel drive mode, when decelerating and downshifting, occasionally it would hesitate a little bit. I switched to all-wheel drive mode, not a problem. Perfectly smooth. I'm being very picky. That's my job. Check it on your test drive. On smooth pavement, you will hear a bit of hum from the all-terrain tires. It's not bad. And if you chuck it hard into a corner like this, you'll definitely hear them too. Plus, there's understeer. AT4 isn't as sporty as, say, Volkswagen Tiguan or Mazda CX-50. Back to cabin noise, it's about average. That faint hum from the all-terrains is masked whenever the pavement is the slightest bit rough. In other words, normal asphalt. Fuel economy, the EPA rates AT4's average at 25 miles per gallon. That is 4 less than Nissan Rogue Rock Creek, 1 less than Kia Sportage X Pro, but 2 better than Subaru Outback Wilderness. AT4 is for buyers that think they might do some Forest Service roads here and there. And so you understand, cameras make this road look much tamer than it is. I constantly see rigs like this on the stretch. So why buy a 4Runner TRD Pro when this and Terrain's competitors are more comfortable to drive every day? Plus, get better fuel economy too. I'm in Terrain mode, which is exclusive to AT4 trims. It slows down the throttle response. It makes it easier to get around things when you're off-roading. And it kind of feels like an EV's one-pedal drive mode. Here's the thing. This is a rough road. It's not extreme. It's perfect for what AT4 is designed for. This is not a Bronco Raptor, and it's not meant to be one. This doesn't float over ruts and moguls at speed like the Ford, but it's highly preferable to a Malibu, unless it's a rental. Subaru Outback Wilderness might have more capability. AT4 is probably on par with RAV4 Woodland Edition. For light to moderate off-roading, the GMC is fine, and people won't be overbuying capability. If you like this cabin trim and colorway, terrific, because it's AT4's only choice. It's called Forest Storm, by the way. Seats are durable cloth and Core-Tech material, that's synthetic leather in layman's terms. As optioned, the seats are heated, the driver's has motors, the passenger's does not. A $950 package brings power and memory to both chairs, plus ventilation. Could be worth it. Overall, the space is easy on the eyes, with a few budget plastic panels here and there. A basic surround view camera system will help keep dents and prangs down. Also, forgot to show you there are loads of large, easy-to-read gauges if you want them. There are enough large buttons on the dual-zone climate system. Those can be used by Braille. Headlamp controls are on the screen, though, which seems to bug some people. I keep mine in automatic. Cars are very complex these days. You need a good user interface to control everything, and I like this one. And before I start on it, a reminder that only General Motors EVs don't have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, okay? This one has it, and it looks great on this big screen. As far as General Motors side of it goes, I really like the layout and the flow. The touch response is excellent, and you can arrange this just about any way you want, even put things up here in this dock. This is based on the Android Automotive platform, which means really good natural voice commands so you can keep your eyes on the road. Hey, how much gas is left in the tank?
Your gas tank is at 74% capacity, so you can drive for about 246 miles.
Of course, you will have to pay for a data plan once the trial period is over, but could be worth it. One thing I'd like to address is the sound system. It has 6 speakers and there is no upgrade path. It's thin, it's weak, and it lacks any spatial quality whatsoever. Hey, what's GMC's slogan?
The GMC slogan is "We are professional grade."
This sound system is not. I'd gladly throw $1,000 at a Bose system. It's simply not available. The charge pad works even with my phone in the wrong way. The driver's display can be changed up in a number of different ways. I like having maps front and center. Loads of storage compartments all over the cabin. That's always the goal. Nothing super roomy though. The digital rearview mirror helps when loading all the way to the ceiling. Speaking of, the tailgate uses the fob as a proximity sensor. It's not kicked to open. I find it overly aggressive and turned it off. This is based on the same architecture as Equinox. No surprise that the cargo hold measures out the same. And not only is there usable space under here, there's a spare with a 17-inch steel wheel under this panel. Great if you actually do venture off-road. Seats up, there's 30 cubic feet to fill. That would be 7 bundles of TP if I were to do that test. Watch the Equinox video if you feel cheated. Drop the backs, and it's 63 cubic feet. To think this is considered a compact crossover SUV. I triple-checked General Motors specifications, and as you might imagine, Terrain's back seat is exactly the same size as Equinox's. This cushion does not slide fore and aft to max out leg or cargo room, but there's a good amount of space back here. I am 5'9". Headroom, very generous. Same with knee, leg, and foot room. The cushions are a little bit on the flat side, but still comfortable and high enough for great thigh support. Door openings are big enough to get my size 11s through, and car seats shouldn't be any problem either. For storage, you've got this, and pockets on both seat backs. Thanks, GMC. Devices can be charged. There is no separate climate zone available, but airflow can be adjusted. That $950 package that would bring ventilation and memory to the front seats would add heated seats to the outboard positions back here. AT4 is all-wheel drive, but there's no spine. If you want cup holders, you will be using this. The big glass roof adds a lot of ambiance, especially back here. The bench is wide enough so 3 average-sized adults will be fine for short trips across town. For cross-country runs, you're going to want to keep it to 2, but they can be full-on grown-ups. The outgoing Terrain had very urbane styling. Now it's rugged and chiseled. I'll admit, at first, I thought this was just an Equinox with a new grille and rear fascia, since the profile looks quite a bit the same. But near as I can tell, the only shared body panels are the doors and maybe the roof. Everything else is unique. Both look good, strong, but not a machismo SUV caricature. If you test drive, maybe check out the Denali trim. That doesn't really cost much more than AT4. It doesn't have the off-road attitude, but chances are, if people are honest with themselves about whether they'll be going off-road, Denali is probably more car-like and luxurious for everyday city slicker use. What I like about the AT4, it's got a great rugged look to it, a very nice interior. It's extremely comfortable. And it does have a little extra off-road prowess, so if you're trying to get to the good hiking trails, this will help. It does need a little extra power at least, and you know, a hybrid system couldn't hurt. Also, GMC, you need to do something about this sound system. Even if just considering the more rugged trim levels, there's a grove full of competition in this segment. Country folk and condo dwellers alike are wise to get out there and compare. Terrain AT4 adds a little extra gusto for Forest Service roads to go with the fashionable red letters on the grille. We all know marketing is critical in the automotive world, and arguably GMC does it really well. I've talked to buyers that love those 3 red letters and are happy to pay extra for them. And word is, GMC is GM's most profitable division. I believe it. Ladies, gentlemen, give it up for Martin Campbell. He drives while I shoot running footage. I could not do these videos the way I do without him. He takes the still photos, and he has a great Instagram channel, and I think he actually remembers the name now.
Yeah, I do. It's short-term memory loss. It's M. Campbell Photo Images.
Check it out. It's really good. So what do you think of this?
It's okay. It drives like a truck, though.
Yeah, you know, a little bit. You know, for a unibody vehicle, I think they've designed it that way. I think people want to feel like they're driving a truck.
Well, you're going to get it.
Yeah. Hope you got something out of my look at the 2026 GMC Terrain AT4. My goal is to always give you good information, clear photography, and never waste your time. Plus, no clickbait. I was born and raised in Minnesota, so that kind of thing is not my style. And if that appeals to you, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'm on all the social media platforms, so follow me there. And if you have a question, leave it in the comments. Either I will get back to you or one of my followers will, because this has become a really good community. Check it out. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.